air dribbles. We love them, don't we? This is probably the most fancy thing I can imagine in Rocket League. Of course, single mechanic. I'm not saying about quadruple, flipper double touch, master flick. But I don't know anyone who would say, air dribbles are overrated and out of meta. I don't like them. So, ability to control the ball in the air sounds amazing. Because it is. Till this day, this Chronovis air dribble is my favorite goal from any RCS. Do you know why? Because this ability was like a milestone. People here don't know what is going on. They're like stuck on the ground and watching this like, wow, he do stuff. Now it has evolved to this point where people can dribble in the air for unlimited amount of time. Of course with unlimited boost. But even freestylers who doesn't specialize in this ability can dribble from almost every corner of the map to another without any problem. But here's the question. How do they do that? They train like crazy. But not just dribbles. They have amazing car control and they are able to make such subtle corrections to their car movement that we aren't even aware of their existence. So, do we have the possibility to become this good at air dribbles? Yes, but we'll need a lot of time to train our car control and then ball control. And of course, at the beginning of our journey to become the best air dribble in the world, we'll make a lot of mistakes. So don't give up and keep going, because today we'll learn how to make a perfect air dribble and benefit from this ability. So air dribble. As you may know, it's a dribble with the ball at the top of your car, but in the air. So if you see the similarity to a normal air dribble, first we have to say something about how to keep the ball on your car during air dribble. During a normal dribble, it's easy enough because you don't have to carry any momentum to keep the ball in your head. All you have to do is to keep it in a good spot, and if the ball will start to drop from your car, you have to just accelerate, slow down or turn left or right. And that's it. But with an air dribble, there are more complicated things you have to keep your eye on. Because it's not like you want to carry the ball all the time. Sometimes it's good to drop the ball a bit before starting to hold it up, just to fool your opponents. Or you want to hold it as long as it's possible, to fool your opponents too. That's why this ability is what you would have called situational ability. It won't work in every situation, but in most it will do the job. Now we have to say something about types of air dribble. We have the simplest air dribble from the wall and an air dribble from the ground. Air dribble from the ground are much harder because you have to carry a certain amount of momentum to the ball to hit it perfectly to start a good air dribble. That's why we will start from a simple air dribble from the wall. It has been said that there are three phases of an air dribble from the wall. First, setup. Ball has to be rolling through the ground, calmly rolling, not bouncing. Then when you will have more or less the same speed as your car, you just hit it on the wall. That's the second phase. Very important thing, you have to hit this ball with middle part of your front bumper. Not left or right side, because the ball will either go too much left or too much right. Middle part of the bumper will make sure your hit will be as clean as it can be. This hit shouldn't be too hard, because you don't want the ball to go too far from you. And it shouldn't be too weak, because you want the ball to carry some momentum with it. Now, very important thing, you have to jump immediately after the ball will get off from the wall. Not in the same moment, but just half a second after the ball will get off. If the ball is in the air, you have to get as close as you can, and then boom. You are sticking to the ball. Now, if you're sticking to the ball with nose of your car, you have to carry the ball with your car. And the best way to do it is to get on the sweet spot. What is this sweet spot, you may ask? It's the area about 30 degrees on the ball from downside of it, where your car will be able to hold it a bit up but still carry it forward. That's the third phase. And from now on, training is a key. Here's my old training records when I was just a little plat, maybe even gold, when I didn't know how to play and wanted to learn air dribbles. It's pretty neat, not gonna lie. As you see, I've came a long road, but it's all worth it. So, wall air dribbles are all about good setup and good car control when you carry a ball. These days it's not that effective. Of course, if you pull one off on platinum rank, they will be stunned. But it's still very flashy and your car control will lower your opponent's morals by far. And you still have a chance of scoring a nice goal. It's all about the execution. Now you know how to air dribble from the wall. Now let's focus on how to make a good air dribble but from the ground. Secret to a good air dribble from the ground is to have a good setup. I mean this first touch before sticking your car with the ball. Then you have to carry the ball up as it's possible, or you can just hit it up and then carry it. It's much easier, but in most situations the ball will be barely bouncing from the ground, so it's good to have trained it before. Yeah, without good car control it's almost impossible to carry the ball up. You have to make many little corrections, you have to have perfect touches in order to have needed momentum to get as high with the ball as it's possible. But there's many problems which you will be facing during setup. For example, you won't catch a ball easily if it's going very fast down, because the momentum you would need to carry is very big. You would have to jump just before dropping to the ground, aiming perfectly in a sweet spot with nose of a car. But aiming perfectly and starting to learn doesn't count up, does it? So let's say we have a good opportunity. What do we do now? First, we have to aim to jump and hit the ball just after it bounces up. Then we have to catch it on its sweet spot. Then we have to carry it and make little corrections during air dribbling. This could be easiest execution from the ground. There's one type of an air dribble from the ground which is a little bit harder. When you have the ball on your head and you start your air dribble from jumping, ball bounces up and you have to very quickly turn nose of your car up. It's harder technique, and I think if you have the ball on your head, it's just wiser to make a flick during dribble. You have bigger chance to fool your opponent with a simple flick in a 1v1 situation. But even if you go for it, scenario is very similar to a ground one. After jumping twice and pointing nose of your car into this sweet spot, you have to make many corrections during it to hold the ball up. Okay, let's go back to air dribble from bouncing from the ground, because there's one very important thing I have to tell you. There's many situations in this game where you won't have a clear straight ball and you will have to improvise to make the ball go this way you want it to go. Example here, ball is on our right and we are facing straight. Is it possible to air dribble from this position? Of course, without any problem, but we have to have a very good car control. Time our turn and our jump very good and then fly under the ball, but not straight. A little bit from our right to point it more straight to a net. It's not so complicated, it's very simple usage of physics, but obviously you have to be a beast in terms of car control. So now you should be a little bit closer in case of learning this ability. Now you have to say something about training of air dribbles. There will be 2 trainings. Those training packs will help you to learn very basics of air dribbling and help you to build your consistency in some cases. After that, I recommend to train this ability on free play. Just force a situation where the ball will bounce up and follow it. It will help you to understand better the process of setting up a good air dribble. You have to make a good first touch in order to make the ball go straight to a goal, and of course you have to have a good follow-up after it. Without these 2 things you won't make a good air dribble. This is not a easy to learn, hard to master ability, it's rather hard to learn, even harder to master type of ability. It's not something you will learn overnight. You have to really tighten your butt cheeks and start to grind air dribbles if you want to style on some diamonds in the future. Okay, last thing I want to tell you is when to pull off an air dribble. Air dribble is the most effective in 1v1 situations. You won't be able to pull off an effective air dribble if 2 of your opponents are in a good spot to defend it. One of them will just rush, and even if he doesn't manage to clear the ball, second one will know exactly where you want to aim the ball. I'm not saying that it's totally nonsense, but it's probably better to just pass the ball, make a simple flick. You will have more time to recover and you will be in a better spot than after an air dribble. Second situation would be just when you aim the ball to a center of the field. Never aim your air dribbles there. Your teammate won't know what you want to do, and if he jumps for the ball, opponent will have amazing opportunity to use your ball chase against you. These are most common situations where you shouldn't use this ability. I'm not saying there isn't more of them, but I found them the most common. That's it for this video. I think it's everything you have to know about this beautiful ability. I love to make air dribbles as often as it's possible, but remember to not fool your opponents by accident. So if you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel. It motivates me a lot to make more videos with even better quality. Remember, it's only a game. Bye bye.